Well, how y'all doing this morning? Hope y'all having a blessed morning. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day here in Little Rock, Arkansas. We've gotten a lot of rain, and not just rain, but thunderstorms. And I have more than once gotten prepared for that in case I lose power, because it does happen here sometimes. But it looks like it's cleared up, and it's starting to get hot now, up in the 90s, and it's very humid here. So, but it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. A friend of mine made a video about how they were going through their YouTube feed, and they come across something that they thought was something else, and they clicked on it, and it happened to be about relationships. Now I checked this out, this video out, and why anybody would want to watch something like that on a regular basis is beyond me, but I guess they do. And it was about relationships. And I'm no expert on relationships, but I've had a few of them, and I've had friends that have had a few of them, and you gotta consider the source of your information. What generation is it coming out of? I know they have X, millennials, G, or something, whatever. But relationships seem to be affected generationally, all right? Say in the 50s, you could marry your high school sweetheart because you had so much already in common. You were pretty much raised the same way with the same morals and same values. Today, they're going through this thing where it's nothing but hookups. That's what they want. They don't want to commit. They don't want the responsibility. And this goes for both men and women, where they have 5 or 6 of them, and they'll date one for maybe a month and then won't see him for several months, and they'll skip to another one. All right? And that seems to be the going thing today, unfortunately. Now, there's a big difference in being happy, being single, and wanting a partner. All right? And I have experienced this and talked to people who have gone through the same thing. Now, overall, I've been single 10 years. And 8 of them 10 years, I had absolutely, positively no desire to have a relationship, a partner, all right? And 2 of them I did. I found that the notion of having a partner every once in a while would come to mind. So your happiness in being single may not last. I hate to bust your bubble, but it's true. It can happen. Now, when you're truly happy being single, like I said, you can experience loneliness, but you are content with filling that type of loneliness void with friends that are just platonic, whether they're, females, or going out with the guys, or being with family, joining clubs or groups. And that desire to have a partner, that one special somebody in your life, doesn't enter your mind. That loneliness is filled with those other things. And that's when you're truly happy being single. But there's another kind of loneliness, and that loneliness is when that just don't cut it anymore, and that desire to have a partner, a mate in your life, keeps coming back around. It's a void. It's not filled with, can't be satisfied by just spending time with family or friends, or going out with the guys, or joining clubs, or whatever. And today, there's such a void in people's lives but they don't want the commitment, don't want the responsibility, that they'll go from partner to partner to partner, as I mentioned before. So really, the way to know if you really are not happy being single anymore is if the desire to have a partner or mate in your life keeps coming around. Now, if you start dating, you need to know that that void for a partner or mate in your life exists. You are truly not happy being single. Otherwise, that void would not keep coming back. And the hookups are not filling that void, because what you truly long for is a committed relationship. Now, there's a lot of times when people don't want to enter into a relationship because they don't want to give up freedoms, okay? And it's true. When you enter into a relationship, you do give up some freedoms. I mean, you can't have a relationship and act single no more, okay? It's disrespectful. It is a lack of commitment on a certain level. It's a lack of loyalty. It can be a lack of infidelity on a certain level, and it's totally disrespectful. A lot of that you did when people do when they're single, all right? But you're also returning, you're getting something, okay? You're not giving up your independence 100%, all right? You're giving up some. Yes, you're losing some, but you're also gaining some. Because if it wasn't a necessity in your life, something that was necessary, you wouldn't be craving a relationship. So you're getting something in return, too. But a lot of people, they freak out at that. But relationship is give and take, and people are forgetting that. They really believe that these hookups, are satisfying that need to have a partner. And it's not. That's why they keep doing it over and over again. And it's a scary thing to try to date online. You cannot believe anything you see, and half of what you hear. So it's a scary thing. I mean, I've seen profiles that say one thing, and once you talk to them a couple, 3 times, chat with them, text with them, you find out it's something different altogether. And the ones that their profile picture is a picture of their dog or something, those, you really need to watch out for them. The thing is in order to have a good relationship, there must be transparency. All right? If you're looking for somebody that's going to fit your needs and your description of what a relationship would be like, you're being very selfish. All right? Compatibility is one thing, but looking for somebody that's going to be exactly what you want is a pipe dream. And really, some people can be self-sabotaging in that way, okay? They put demands on people that, when they won't let people put demands on them, and some of them demands are unrealistic. And really, it's self-sabotaging. They'll destroy a relationship when they start getting close to somebody because they're afraid to get close to somebody for whatever reason. Some people are so afraid of being hurt or used again that when they separate from a marriage, they won't even get a divorce. That way, they'll never have to go through that again. They'll never have to worry about getting married again because they're all married. Well, a lot of that comes out of basing the next person on your last person. And that shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. And some of the demands that people can put on other people is just hypocritical and judgmental. if a person can accept you and some of your quirks and some of your flaws the way you are, then you need to be able to accept them too. As long as it's not something that is really going to cause super duper trouble in the relationship, you should be more lenient there. I don't think that if you have that kind of relationship, that level of relationship, there's different kinds of levels of relationships. I don't think family should interfere. I don't think friends should interfere. Unfortunately, they often have a sense of entitlement. I had a relationship once, and when family and friends just didn't like me because now some of their time went to me, the greater part, which is the way it should be in a relationship on that level, with that much commitment in it. Family and friends should not interfere with that, but because sometimes friends have known you longer than your mate, they have a sense of entitlement, and they will begin to outstep their boundaries. There needs to be healthy boundaries in a relationship with commitment, and there's responsibility that comes with that. You protect happiness, all right? You work through your own problems together. Running to somebody else and talking to them about your problems ain't going to solve the problem you have with somebody else. You need to talk to them and work with them, all right? And there's a whole new level of hypocrisy, all right, these days. And prejudice knows no boundaries, okay? It don't. It really don't. That saying, the pot calling the kettle black, it means more today now than ever, especially since they legalized marijuana. All right? I have met people that will get up in the morning and with their coffee, smoke 3 or 4 cigarettes and 2 joints, and by 11 o'clock they're back in bed sleeping. And can't get a day's work done. But they'll do nothing but badmouth and talk about somebody that drinks. All right? Now, not everybody that drinks is an alcoholic. I don't care what anybody says. Some people actually can handle their liquor. They seem to slap a label on everything these days. But somebody who does that talks about somebody else that drinks and don't smoke cigarettes or don't smoke pot, there's something wrong with that. I've never understood that. All right? Maybe you don't drink and your partner does. If it's not causing a rash of shit in your relationship, let it go. It ain't worth it. If you smoke cigars and your partner smokes cigarettes, let it go. It ain't worth it. But again, there has to be healthy boundaries. I mean, if I've known people that had partners that drank that they couldn't handle it. They wouldn't stay out of a vehicle. They ended up losing their license. They'd become belligerent and argue and bitch. And me personally, I never could stand to be around somebody like that. It was like an instant asshole, just add alcohol, and that relationship ended over it. But there are people that their partner don't drink at all, and they do, and they still get along, all right? So, I mean, you got to put aside some of your differences, embrace some of your differences. I mean, there has to be boundaries there. But the way you know that you really do want a partner is that comes back around. All right? That nothing will fill that void. If it keeps coming back around, then really what you want is a partner. Now, me personally, and I think this happens to a lot of older people, I want companionship. I'd like companionship. I'd like a roommate where we worked together, and, and helped each other out, and we were friends, okay? Now, I tried that situation once. I have had roommate situations. One of them, their family, I did my part, paid my rent, and we were just platonic. I just rented the room out. But their family also lived there too, and they didn't do nothing. I went in there and cleaned the place up. You would not believe how bad this place was. And they wouldn't work. They were up all night partying, and they slept all day. And they got to where they expected me to start cooking for them, or if I cooked and left something in the fridge, they'd eat it, and I wasn't having it. I got out of that situation. And the other situation I was in was a friend I had known for 25, 30 years, and they come down with dementia. And I was looking for a place to stay, rent a room, and so I got in where they were. And they didn't charge me much, hardly anything at all. And I said, all right, well, I'll clean the house and I'll cook for you. But there was two other roommates there, too. Again, my food started disappearing. Messes were being left that they expected me to clean up. I wasn't having it. Now, I made it clear when I moved in with this person, rented a room out from them, it was going to be platonic. I did not want a relationship. I had been through a bad marriage, and I didn't want nothing to do with a relationship with nobody. And I wanted time to heal, and I think that's a big mistake people make. They just jump right back out there into a relationship, and they shouldn't do it. They should take the time to heal. Because you don't want to bring any baggage, or at least as you possibly can, into another relationship. I don't want to blame somebody else for what somebody else did to me. All right? Or compare them. Can there be some comparisons? Yes. But do I want to just pull that out of my head because I went through a bad experience? And no. And the way to get over most of that is to heal. And they had dementia, and I made it quite clear it was going to be platonic, and I helped them out quite a bit. But they got worse and worse and worse with the dementia. And then they made it known to me they wanted a relationship. And I told them when I moved in here, I told you that was never going to happen. And they continued to get worse and worse and worse with the dementia. I would hear them sitting in the living room talking to their dead parents, all right? And there was two other roommates in there, and they would get into it. He would get jealous over them if they talked to me. There would be physical altercations. He would begin threatening them with weapons. He had weapons. And then there was times when he totally forgot who I was and would call me by his ex-girlfriend's name, who actually left him for another man. Several times the police were called. He took the door off my room at one point. I could be sitting on my cell phone talking with my son, and he would swear, come in the room, kick open the door, call me Lisa, and tell me he didn't want me on my cell phone talking to other men. And then one night he pulled a shotgun on me. And it was time to go. I got myself out of there. All right, so I've had some really bad roommate situations, unfortunately. But I would like to have companionship, a friendship with somebody. I would prefer it to be a male, because I find that there's more bullshit that goes on with women. There could be jealousy there. Now, in both of my roommate situations, it was understood that we didn't bring anybody into the house. They didn't bring women. I didn't bring men. And I think that's a good idea. because you can get real insecure and uncomfortable with that when people are coming in that you don't know with your belongings, and then having to listen to their arguments or what have you. And so I was comfortable with that. And they were too, actually, because it was their rule. But if I was in that situation, if I moved somebody in here with me, that would be my rule as well. Nobody comes in here. But just try and find that situation, especially these days. It's hard to do. But I still think two people contributing can get along and get by a whole lot better than just one person by themselves. But relationships are very messed up today. Now, if I was in that kind of situation and it grew into something else and it was mutual, I might be tempted to see where that went. Okay? But in most cases, I have found that no, I didn't want to, and I won't. You know, if I'm now, I have been out on a date with a man, and immediately he wanted sex. Took me out to dinner. We went out, and he wanted sex. I said no, I'm not like that. And they got very rude about it. I said, okay, I think it's time for me to go home. And I didn't see that person no more. I'm not that kind of person. But again, a lot of people have that hookup mentality. They get together, they date, they have sex, and they go from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And I'm not having it. And maybe that came out of, like I said, I think the generation you came out of has a lot to do with that. I think things should be clear. I mean, if you're friends or something like that, and you decide that you want to take it a little bit further, I think that those borders should be, you know, okay, what do we have now? Let's talk about it. All right? I think it should be clear cut if you're going to cross that line. I don't believe in head games. I don't believe in drama. Friend drama, family drama, whatever. I think there should be peace in a relationship. I have talked to women who dated men, and it seems to be a lot of a sexual thing with men, more so than women. One woman told me he had told me that sex is very important to him, but to me it's not. But I understand that. But when we go to have sex, he can't even perform, and then it ain't nothing but a bunch of bullshit after, and it seems to be a vicious cycle. And she got out of that relationship because she didn't want to go through that drama and bullshit. He wanted sex and couldn't perform. And then he got down on him, got down on her, and it was a vicious cycle. That's bullshit. Older people need to realize it's not all about sex anymore, and they ought to, okay? To a lot of the younger generation, sex is love, and it's not. Now, you can be in love with somebody and have some type of sexual relationship, and it is making love because you care for one another. But sex is not love. There's a lot of youth out there that need to hear that. And you can thank me later. Well, yeah. So, if you're single and lonely, you can feel that void with being with friends and family and clubs and activities, and to have that someone special in your life is never going to come around. But if it does, then really that's what you're needing and wanting in your life, and you're just not willing to admit it. Well, that's my take on that from a lot of experience I've experienced myself, and from other people I've known, and yeah, and some of the things I've seen today is just, yeah. But y'all let me know what your take in is on that in the comments if you want. You know, I've known people that don't want a relationship and they are 100% happy not having one, and they don't have that void coming around. And I've talked to people that have been married for years and can't imagine ever being without their mate. And I've talked to women who were married for years and lost their husband, and their husband provided for them, even not just when he was living, but after he was gone. And they told me, I'll never marry again, because once you have the best, you don't want to mess with the rest. And they were 100% content. But anyway, let me know what y'all's take is on it if you want to, if you will. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.